3 windows open with my email, and I don't need that. It's too intimidating.
No. Yeah, and when I was researching, I started researching 3 days ago, and I had all these tabs open, and I've just had 10 tabs open on my story until last night when I finally finished the research.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Probably the longest I've ever had that many tabs open, and I've just ignored it. But
oh.
yeah.
Welcome to the Horror Corner.
Welcome.
We're how many episodes in? 5 now? This is the 5th episode?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah, totally. My Yeti is still not being cooperative. But, boo. Yeah, but hopefully at some point I will have better sound quality on my end. I don't know. Can the listeners tell that we've done it over Skype? Is that something that's obvious, or?
On my end, yes.
Okay.
Just because Skype links, there's a whole science behind Skype audio. I found out that they like to control everything just in case something goes wrong on your end.
Okay.
So they like to take over your audio. So even though my audio is super crisp on my end, going through Skype and over the internet, it has to compress even more.
Yeah.
So just either way, it sounds better than it would be if I was using my computer microphone, but it still sounds like shit.
RIP. Yeah. Sorry, but hey, we still have amazing content for everyone.
Hopefully the content matters more than quality.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, you can probably also hear my Cheeto crunching.
Yeah, I was
I can't be bothered to make actual breakfast, so I had Cheetos for breakfast because I'm an adult.
Yeah, I probably would have done a similar thing, but I don't even have crap food in my apartment anymore. I've eaten it all, so I just pulled out some year-old oatmeal packets.
Love it.
Made instant oatmeal. It was pretty.
Those keep.
What?
Those keep pretty well.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're good. Yeah. Anyways, any big news, Cody, on your end besides life being shit?
I don't know if it recorded, but it's my roommate's birthday.
Yeah.
So I'm making him dinner. One of our friends is coming over with some drinks, and it's Thursday night. And we're gonna live it up.
Wild. Yeah, that's awesome. It's very good. I'm still having sinus problems. I wouldn't describe the extent of my sinus problems that
That's okay.
Yeah, that the Zoom care doctor told me about, but it's disgusting, and I wanted her to stop telling me about it. So, anyways,
yes.
Long story short, I have about 50% of the hearing in my left ear, and I've had that for about 2 weeks now, and I'm very done with it. I was at Starbucks the other day, and the barista was very soft spoken, and I had to ask him to repeat everything he said 3 times, and I'm I'm so sorry. Yeah, but anyways, I'm sick. A job interview at 2 p.m. today, so that's exciting.
I mean, that process is going well? Question mark.
It is. Yeah. I think I think that they like me, unless they're lying. Unless all of their friendly handshakes and laughing at my jokes is all fake, but probably not. Yeah, but I'm going in to meet 2 new employees today. I'm I'm very nervous, but it's fine. It's gonna be great. I would love to work there. Yeah, I would just love to not be sick while been doing interviews all week today. But
yeah, I know. I was really worried standing out in the cold last night at the soccer games that my cold would get worse, but I think it's fine, even though I didn't get enough sleep. As long as I go to sleep early tonight.
Yeah. We totally have it together, Cody.
Oh yeah.
This whole adult life. Yep.
I'm still fighting with my building managers about getting my lease. And so technically we're living here unleased.
Oh my god.
And I'm stressed about it. But anyways, I called the building, or the whole, building, every single building that's underneath the same leasing company. I called their office. And we're like, oh, we don't handle leases. And I was like, no, you don't understand. The person who's supposed to be handling my lease is not answering any of my emails.
Oh my god.
And they have not been for 2 weeks. Can you please do something about it? I'm sorry to bother you, but the only contact we've had from them, that's been somewhat productive, is them emailing us about a parking spot that's opened up. And we don't even care about it. They just blast emailed that to the entire building.
Yikes.
So, it's not even concerning us.
So, they're for sure alive. They're just not.
Yeah. And she was like, so you want to renew your lease and you're interested in the parking spot? I'm like, no, we're not interested in the fucking parking spot. We're interested in renewing our lease, and they keep dodging our emails.
Oh my god.
So.
I can't imagine why. Isn't that illegal on their end?
I don't know, because now they've sent us an 11-month lease with the same incorrect information. Oops. And now I'm like, okay, now it's at the point where I need to change my name on the lease and sign a lease.
Oh
is that too hard?
Yeah.
Is that going to be too much? I need you to take off the extra $100 fee and change my name. Is that too much to ask?
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
Anyways.
Really sorry.
Speaking of leases and property and moving potentially, because I'm never moving from this place. I love this place so much, unless I absolutely have to. Who knows?
Yeah.
Speaking of buying property and land, I'm going to talk about my story now.
Oh my god. Okay.
That was a very awkward long segue into my story, and I'm sorry.
It kind of worked though,
Yeah.
Our real life connects to also real true crime.
Yeah, I really hope that I never get into this true crime.
Okay. Well, tell me about it.
Some would consider it not even a crime.
Oh my god. Those are the worst.
Have you heard of the People's Temple Agricultural Project?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, good. Good.
I always feel awkward saying that I love cults, but...
Oh, right.
I'm, very interested. Yes, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay, so now you see why my living situation. I would love for it not to become a cult.
Oh my god, please. Yeah.
But it's also very relevant.
Yeah, if you're a leasing officer...
Rent culture is a cult.
Yeah. If your leasing officer tries to start inviting you to some secret meetings in the basement, just say, no thanks.
Especially my haunted basement, no thank you.
Okay.
So,
anyways,
the People's Temple Agricultural Project.
Oh my god.
You may know it better as Jonestown.
Ugh. Jesus.
So, their leader, Jim Jones, founded this church ideology thing in 1955 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And they practiced apostate socialism under the guise of Christian revival and biblical teachings. Though they also claimed that they aligned with Marxism in some aspects.
Okay.
They were heavily criticized, so Jones decided that it was time to move away from Indiana to Redwood Valley in California in 1965.
Okay.
So 10 years into this, he's like, all right, people are being annoying, saying that we're extra and over the top, so we're going to leave. We're going to leave this conservative Indiana, and we're going to go somewhere where hopefully we're more accepted in California.
And why did they think that they were too extra? Just with their...
So, I mean, this is the 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
And, sure, biblical teaching isn't conservative and extra, but maybe like Marxism is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So he moved to California with his church in 1965 and opened more branches in San Francisco and LA, and later on moved his headquarters to San Francisco. Sometime before this, in the 60s, in like the earlier 60s, Jones went to Brazil to establish a temple mission there. The temple mission didn't survive very long, but on his way to Brazil, he stopped in Guyana.
Okay. So just like stop in Guyana, spread your little cult seed, pop on home kind of thing, watch it grow.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just kind of like a layover.
Oh.
He wasn't like intending to stay very long while he was there, because he was on his way to Brazil to do that.
Started
already. So
new tip for traveling.
Yeah, so in San Francisco, in his like headquarters, he became increasingly more involved in politics and local government, and just like got really into it. Started working with governments a lot more, and he ended up purchasing land from the Guyana government, in 1977.
Okay.
So this is like 22 years into this church.
Into the Passion Project.
Yeah, the Passion Project. That's a good way to put it.
Kind of like our Passion Project, Cody, of this podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how he was able to make this work.
Okay.
Because obviously the church, any church, is always vying for like funding, donations, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of ways for you that he made money.
Okay.
So he made the, let me see here. Sorry, I have a multimedia note situation here.
Oh, well, you're good.
Because I was writing some notes on the bus, and then I realized the girl next to me could see my notes, and I was like, murder! Oh. I guess I should not do that right now? Okay, so he made the cult, a.k.a. the church, sell their possessions.
Oh, good. Yep.
And move into the church, essentially. So get rid of all your earthly possessions. They don't matter. Come live with me.
Great.
So he basically made them sell other things and then took their money. He also allegedly, well, I say allegedly because I only found a couple sources with this, and I feel like it's solid, but I also am not sure because it's not on the Wikipedia page, and I don't want to say Wikipedia means all, but
yeah,
it's not on the Wikipedia page. But apparently he sold monkeys door to door.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. Where was he selling the monkeys in all of his places? All of his branches?
I don't know. I assume San Francisco?
Holy shit. How do you just, get some monkeys that you can sell?
It is the 1970s.
Wait,
Who knows?
Okay. I didn't know that monkeys were readily available in the 1970s.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. It's just, you could, get anything back then, I guess, or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he encouraged minimalist communism and socialism, or socialism. That's an or, not an and. I can't read my own handwriting. I just want to acknowledge that communism and socialism are different things. Yep. They're very similar, but very different in the same sort of way.
Yeah.
And I just want to say in the Wikipedia article, it seems like they're using the two words interchangeably, and they are not the same thing.
Yeah.
And I've heard both ideologies brought up in regards to Jones's plan to create a better society, but take that what you will. I don't know.
Yeah. And what would you say are the main differences for our listeners?
Hold on. Let me Google this, because we do have the resource, and I don't want to sound like an idiot on air. Okay, here we go. I know the difference between communism and capitalism. Don't need that. Socialism is at its core an economic philosophy versus communism, which is an economic and political philosophy. Yes. So when I say like minimalist and like recycling, I mean because the government controls everything.
Okay, got it.
Versus like socialism, it's more like the government is there to facilitate everything else in the same way that capitalism is.
Yeah.
Is in place, but it's less based on profit.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do to go into that.
Okay.
If you really want to know the difference, look at a high school textbook.
Actually,
you're welcome.
And maybe don't look in a high school textbook because they're very biased. Maybe look, I don't know, at where to look. But, yeah. You know.
Look in the dictionary. That's the least bias you're going to find these days anyways. Don't ask the president.
Yeah. Go on Google.
I mean,
Google
what?
has no bias. You know, Google is great. Yeah.
Google is biased.
I know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Communism, socialism. They're different.
Where do I want to go next? Do we want to talk about defectors?
Defectors of the cult? Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
Okay. There are none. You can't leave.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. You can leave, but it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
And you basically have to sign your life away to Jonestown.
Okay.
Sorry, to the People's Temple. It's not Jonestown yet.
Yeah.
And even if you do get out, like, you literally have nothing. You've sold all of your possessions.
Yeah.
So, like, the few that have left, you know, some of them have left kids behind, and, like, he won't let you have your kids back. It's this whole thing.
Yeah. Sounds like a cult to me.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of children, though, he also made everyone call him father or dad.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the children, also adults. And children were generally, like, put in just, like, one single caretaking situation. So that they all live in the same building. All the children live together. Just weren't, like, they were separated.
Yikes.
From their children.
Okay.
Couples were split up. Everything was, like, divided by gender. No couples were allowed. Like, intimacy was not allowed. You weren't able to, like, create relationships, really. It was really based on, like, self-improvement.
Yeah.
Or, like, quote-unquote, sorry, let me put that away. Quote-unquote self-improvement.
Yeah.
Basically, it was just, like, let go of everything and just worship me.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into. Let me see here. Where do I want to go? This is my least structured part because it's all just scribbles. Let's talk about the demographics. Yeah, let's go there.
Okay. Oh yeah. Because it wasn't Jones like trying to portray himself as like a socially progressive minded kind of guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let me first figure out when they moved to Guyana, because this is important. They moved to Guyana in 1978.
Cool.
And at this point, there were just under 1,000 people in the cult, which is kind of a lot. To be mass migrating to South America.
Wait, so were there more people in the cult who didn't migrate to South America?
I would imagine. Okay. Because when they were in Guyana, they had like the only communication they had with the outside was radio. At Guyana's capital, Georgetown. So 150 miles away from Jonestown. You would have to go 150 miles to get to Georgetown, number one. And you can only talk to the outside through one of the temple members.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the radio. And you can talk to the San Francisco branch.
Okay.
You can't talk to your outside family members. You can't talk to your outside friends. You can only talk to the San Francisco branch.
So basically, you can't talk to anyone.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Solid.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is 1978. And here's the demographic breakdown, which is probably a little bit inaccurate, not sure, because there's a whole bunch of numbers that don't match across all sources. So I'm just going to go with what I found on Wikipedia, which I already lost. Here it is. Black people made up approximately 70% of Jonestown's population. 45% of the residents were Black women.
Okay.
23% of the population were Black men. 13% were white women. 11% were white males. 3% were mixed women. 1% were mixed males. Other makes up like 2%, 1% women, 1% male.
Okay.
So, majority Black.
Okay.
And I have theories that I don't feel like I have the authority to expand on why the majority of the population was Black. But I will say that it is the 1970s.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say on that.
Okay, yeah. And it's by a white dude, right? Jones is...
Led by a white guy.
Yep.
Yep. So, daily life consisted of a 6-day work week from 6:30 in the morning to 6 p.m. And then after work, members would attend workshops and classes at the pavilion where they hosted all of their meetings. You also have 1 hour for lunch somewhere in there.
Okay.
Jones's health began to deteriorate midway through 1978, so he changed the workday to 8 hours, 5 days a week, which is modeled after North Korea's 8-hour work week. Not 8 hours a week, sorry. 8-hour work day, 5 days a week with 8 hours to study at night, essentially.
Okay.
This is like their 8 hours work, 8 hours study model. Mm-hmm. So, he basically shortened their work hours.
Okay.
Because he was sick. And he's like, well, I also have to work, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to shorten it for everyone.
Okay, got it.
Jonestown was supposed to be like a self-sustaining colony, I want to say.
Commune.
Commune, yeah. But since the land there wasn't great for farming, they had to import a lot of their stuff. Okay. And at this point, Jones had, under his name, because he sold everything and took all the money for himself, he had like $26 million at his disposal.
Okay. That's a lot of money. Fuck.
Yes. And who was he spending it on?
Himself.
Not everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he obviously used some of that money to purchase the land in Guyana, used some of the money to pay off the government to allow just under 1,000 people to immigrate to Guyana, because immigration laws, while they weren't as strict as they are now in the United States, like, it wasn't the United States that's the concern. It's just like Guyana didn't have the ability to process that many immigrants. Yeah. So they're like, all right, special deal, we'll make it work. They made it work. Everyone moved down there. Special deal. But he just had millions of dollars at his disposal.
Oh my god. Wait, so he basically bribed Guyana to let 1,000 people come in.
Pretty much is what I from what I understand.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You know what else he was doing with this money?
Building a palace? Was that something?
No. I mean, the palace would just be the pavilion, which is just kind of like a cabana.
Okay.
Giant cabana.
Yeah. what was he doing with it?
The money?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm still not awake.
That's okay.
He was obtaining a jeweler's license to buy chemicals such as cyanide.
Oh, boy. Wait, so jewelers use cyanide?
Yes, apparently to clean gold.
Oh. I have never heard of that. I'm guessing that it's out of practice today, right?
I actually don't know.
Huh, okay. Well, that's not great.
Yeah, so starting in 1976, he had started receiving half a pound of cyanide every month to quote-unquote clean gold.
What gold? Why, like, it would
I don't know.
Just, like, look at him and his colony and be like, okay, yeah, here's cyanide. You're obviously a jeweler cleaning a lot of gold. Here you go. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so he has a lot of cyanide. And
oh my god.
He started holding white night rehearsals.
Yeah.
At the pavilion. So like every so often he would like sound this loud ass alarm in the middle of the night. And pretend people were coming to quote unquote invade Jonestown. He was very paranoid that the CIA was after him, the police were after him, like the I guess the correct term would be Guyanese. Yeah. Police were after him, like the U.S. government, everyone was after him. He was just very paranoid.
I mean, maybe that's
and so he would.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he would hold these drills, and he had people with guns. He had people with like other weapons, like knives and stuff. Like they were usually around camp anyways, but he would just like have everyone meet at the pavilion, and the people with guns would come and make sure no one left, essentially. Basically just what they did every day. Mm-hmm. And he would ask them, everyone's coming to get us. What do you want to do? You have 4 options. You can attempt to flee to the Soviet Union. Or try to anyways.
Got it.
Probably won't get very far.
Good choice. Okay.
Stay in Jonestown and fight.
Okay, definitely a runner-up. All right.
Yeah, which you have no weapons. The only people who have weapons are the people keeping you here, who are like extremely loyal to Jones.
Sounds safe and solid. Okay.
Exactly. You can try to flee into the jungle, which is not going to be successful in any way.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, keep going. What's the last?
And the 4th option is to commit revolutionary suicide.
Oh, okay. Well, out of the 4, I don't know. Which one would you pick, Cody?
I think I would try to flee into the jungle. I'd rather die by jungle cat than CIA ? I don't know.
I mean,
they'd probably find me.
Yeah, I gotta just say that these are all great options. Yeah, but I mean, there could be some holes in them.
Oh yeah. I think dying by jungle cat is much more honorable than anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like God would let me into heaven if I died by jungle cat.
Yeah. Very true. Okay. Yeah. All jungle cats go to heaven.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so on multiple occasions, everyone, or I don't want to say everyone, a majority of people in these rehearsals voted for revolutionary suicide.
Okay. Well,
yes.
Shit.
So once this was decided, Jones would hold like a simulation, essentially, of like what would happen if they were attacked.
Yeah.
So obviously on these rehearsals, if revolutionary suicide was voted for, a simulation would be held.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So this is what the cyanide was for.
Yeah. And then, well, I want to spoil it, but...
Right.
You put the cyanide in a very famous drink that was very famous back then, and then, yeah. Anyways.
Yes. Before I go into the details about how they were going to use the cyanide, I want to tell you a little bit about Leo Ryan.
What?
A congressman from the United States.
Oh, yes. I totally remember this story. It's kind of like a curveball in the story itself, sort of. And the whole, yeah. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, so he was a a congressman in California. And he got wind of the temple, and he was like, that's a bit suspect.
Yeah.
So he decided to fly down and visit the Guyana temple. On November 14, 1978, Leo Ryan flew down to Guyana with a couple of his friends, including his legal advisor, Jackie Spear, and a couple of reporters from NBC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He also brought with him concerned relatives. Because remember, there's no outside contact.
Oh wait, I don't remember the relatives being brought along. Oh, that's why.
Well, I can probably tell you why.
Okay, please do.
So, when they got to Guyana, the people who were in charge of the Georgetown, way house, where if you were on your way to join the temple, on your way to Jonestown, this is where you stopped and checked in, essentially. In Georgetown, they had a house that they owned. And the person that was in charge of the radio lived there.
Okay.
And so the person who was in charge of the radio met them and was like, hello, you can't come to Jonestown.
Oh, boy.
Even though we've kind of made a deal that you could.
Yeah.
You can't. So obviously Leo Ryan was like, we need to go to Jonestown. And so finally they convinced them that they were allowed to go to Jonestown. And meanwhile, Jones was rehearsing the visit.
Okay.
So he was having everyone go to meet in the pavilion and be like, okay, what are you going to tell them when they get here? That you're happy? That you like it here? That you're being treated very well? That this is the best place you can possibly be.
Yeah.
That you're having the time of your life. You can't... He was very concerned that they would, leak that they were not in great living situations.
Yeah.
So, when Ryan got there, they, had a whole party. The press was there. They weren't allowed to bring the concerned relatives.
Okay.
Because they didn't want people seeing their relatives getting all weepy and trying to escape.
Yeah.
So they really wanted to minimize the risk of defectors.
Yeah.
And so they were only able to bring in 4 of the concerned relatives.
How did they choose?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
At the party that they held that night, Leo Ryan and the news reporters were asking everybody oh, do you like it here? Is this really where you want to be? Your relatives are really concerned for you, and just how do you like it here? And everyone's like, oh, no, it's great. I'm like, this is the best place. I love it here. I feel very at peace and loved, and Father is the greatest and all that stuff.
Oh boy. But
in the shadows, 2 temple members, Vernon Gosney and Monica Bagby, slipped one of the people that came with the congressman a note asking them to get them out of town.
Oof. All right.
Now, this note was originally meant for the congressman, but since Vernon didn't know who the congressman was, like what he looked like, he just slipped it to one of the people that came with him and was like, hopefully this is the congressman.
Imagine being the person that got that note. Like, oh boy.
Exactly. Like, what do? Do you tell Jones? Do you tell the congressman? Like, if you tell Jones, obviously these people are, like, probably dead.
Yeah.
Like, you have, like, some sort of suspicion that this is not going to turn out well if you tell Jones, but also at the same time, like, nobody knows how horrible it is there.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows how, like, quote-unquote, brainwashed these people are.
Yeah.
Like, it's to the extent that they're doing, like, simulated suicides.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty in deep.
Yeah, like, they would willingly lie to the congressman about their living situations, even though they're, like, 5 or 6, sets of 2 people to a single cabin.
Yeah.
Like, that's 12 people living in one cabin, and they're not a sizable cabin.
Yeah.
So, it's just not great. Yeah, so things are just kind of decreasing in quality, increasing in sense of danger. Everyone at the temple is just kind of, like, on edge. Jones is on edge. He's, like, trying to make all these, like, wild speeches about, like, it's great here. Yeah. You want to stay here, right? And on the morning of November 18th, 11 temple members were like, all right, we're going to go.
Uh-huh.
And so they left Jonestown.
Okay.
And met up with some of the journalists.
Uh-huh.
Did I read that right? Yeah, some of the journalists and some family members who I don't think were able to get to Jonestown.
Okay. Oh, wait, so, like, they actually safely got out of Jonestown? Like, out of...
Yes.
Oh, okay. And, like, Jim Jones just, like, let them go?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Jones was very much preoccupied with making sure that everyone was happy and not lying to the congressman, or, like, not telling the truth to the congressman.
Yeah.
And he was very stressed.
Yeah. On top of his paranoia and control, just other issues.
He had other things going on.
I struggle to imagine what Jim Jones being extra stressed would look like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean...
the usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where my multimedia notes get really messed up and confusing. So I'm just going to try to tell you this from memory.
Okay. Go for it.
Yeah, so the morning after the party, Leo Ryan was like, all right, those who want to defect, we've got a couple of them. We're going to take them with us to the plane. And we're going to fly out of here, and we're going to go back to California. And more and more people started stepping forward, asking him to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And Jones made them sign away, like, if you're leaving, you're leaving. You can't take anything or anyone with you.
Okay.
So Vernon Gosby actually ended up leaving his son there.
Oh, no.
Yeah. One of the documentarians that I watched, like, interviewed him, and he was like, I thought it was the best idea at the time. Like, I didn't know what else to do. Like, I just knew I had to get out of there, and I didn't know if I could take my son with me, just because, like, I didn't know how I was getting out. Like, I knew we weren't safe with Leo Ryan. Like, we weren't safe here. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was best for my son, especially because his son is black, and, like, he just wasn't sure what the United States would hold for his son either. So he left his son there, and it sucked.
Yeah. Shit.
So, Vernon Gosby and I think about 10 other people climbed in a truck with the congressman and, like, the news people, drove to the airstrip, were either on the plane or about to get on the plane when some of the, like, Jonestown security members showed up and started shooting.
Yep. Oh, golly.
I believe some of the concerned family members were with them. I think the 4 that went with them were also there, so they also were killed. But those people were killed. The NBC News reporters, the cameraman was killed. I think another one was killed. The congressman was killed. Most all of the defectors didn't make it. Vernon Gosby was able to flee into the jungle.
Okay.
As was one of the NBC reporters. And those are the 2 people that they interview in the documentary that I watched.
Are they the only 2 that survived?
At the airstrip? Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
Which is why they know, like, the exact timeline and everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there wouldn't be any survivors, no one would know. Mm-hmm. So this is around midday.
Okay.
And so when the plane didn't arrive at the other airport, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wherever the plane was going. When the planes didn't arrive, because they had called for a second one, because they're like, oh, this is too many people that want to leave. Like, we don't have enough spots on the plane. We need a second plane.
Yeah.
Neither plane arrived, and they were supposed to get there around like 4:30 in the afternoon. But they like waited until 5 p.m. and they were like, where are they?
Something was wrong.
They're not here.
Yeah. What happened?
Mm-hmm. And that's when they went to go investigate the airstrip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not great already. Meanwhile, Jones was like peak panic, peak stress. He called everyone to the pavilion with his siren and like his PA announcement saying "White Night." But remember, it's like early evening. Usually, this happens like in the middle of the night. You know, emergency. Like get out of bed. Like come to the pavilion. White Night. Like rehearsal.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any correlation between like the name of the alarm White Night and like the White Knights / the KKK, or is it just?
That's a great question. I don't have the answer to it, but I want to look up the color of cyanide.
Oh, yeah. I think, isn't cyanide like a clear and odorless?
This is a great search term.
Oh, God.
Hydrogen cyanide is a pale blue or colorless liquid. Sodium cyanide and potassium cyanide are white powders. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like I should already know because of the Tylenol situation.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. Okay. So, peak paranoia, peak stress, White Night. He calls them to the pavilion and says, "This is a beautiful place, and I have failed you. I'm sorry. Like, just it's time to go."
Oh my God.
So, everyone lined up. Just like rehearsal, everyone lined up.
Yeah.
In front of a large metal tub filled with Flavor Aid.
Oh.
Great flavor.
It's not Kool-Aid?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was like an off-brand or if Kool-Aid was even invented by now. I really hope it was invented at this point. I would really hate for someone to rebrand Flavor Aid to make profit off of Kool-Aid after all of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was great Flavor Aid.
Okay.
That was poisoned with Valium, chloral hydrate.
Oh boy.
Cyanide.
Oh no.
And one more drug that I cannot pronounce.
Okay. Well, I think, yeah. There's a next.
So those who would not willingly drink were forcefully injected.
Ay. Gross.
And they tried to get everyone who was not so willing to do it first.
Yeah.
So that like all the people who were willing would be last and they would just do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
not. Ugh, gross.
Yeah, so as far as Jim Jones himself, I've seen the stuff that he drank the juice himself. I've seen stuff that he shot himself. And I've seen stuff that he had to be shot by one of his security members because he wouldn't do it himself.
Yeah, that's just
so
gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, if you're making everyone else do it, but then you're like, oh, I don't really know. I swear to God. Like, not that anyone should. Yeah, anyways, okay.
Yeah, I just, like, in the end, you know, if he had to be shot by one of his security members, like, you know, that's such a cowardly move. Like, you know, you're making everyone else do this thing. You're, like, asking them to do this last thing for you.
Yeah.
And then you won't even go through it with it yourself. Like,
yeah.
Your wife is dead, your son is missing, like, he's not missing, he's in, sorry. Mr. Jones has a son.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Who was in Jonestown at the time because there was a basketball tournament.
Wait, a basketball tournament in Jonestown?
Georgetown.
Oh, George.
The guy in his cabin.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah. So he's away.
Okay.
And so he's actually one of the people interviewed in the Jonestown Paradise Lost documentary.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, this story is getting really long, and I'm going to quickly wrap it up.
Okay.
So, yeah, just like your wife is dead, your son is like on his way to defecting. He like literally got in an argument with you this morning about like how paranoid you are about invaders and like, yeah. So obviously your life is spiraling out of control, and you're going to ask all these people to commit revolutionary suicide, and then you're going to like resist going down yourself. Like,
yeah, that is,
it's just so gross and disgusting.
It is. Yeah.
And people who do this are just, I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Now, Jim Jones, man of the hour, this entire time, his health is declining as soon as they move to Guyana.
Okay.
And it's partially because of their poor nutrition and like poor living situation, and just like within several months of moving there, everyone ended up getting like stomach issues, like just everyone got really sick. But Jones's health just keeps deteriorating, and apparently he was also on drugs.
Oh, good.
So he wore like sunglasses all the time, and I suspect it's because his eyes were like fucked the entire time, and he didn't want anyone seeing. So on the final white night, there is actually a recording of his speech.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is. Oh my gosh, I just remember that I did a project on Jim Jones for my AP US history class, and I listened to that tape, and it fucked me up.
Yeah, it's really creepy. Apparently it's called the People's Temple Death Tape.
Yeah.
Which I hate.
Yeah.
It's so creepy. Just like his voice is so creepy, and it's ugh.
Horrifying.
Yeah. So by the morning of November 19th, 1978, Jonestown is no longer.
Oof.
Congressman Leo Ryan is dead, along with his reporters and his legal aid.
Great.
And now here's again where numbers get kind of inconsistent, depending on who you ask. But there were approximately 908 to 912 total people there at Jonestown that committed a revolutionary suicide.
Yeah.
300 of which were children.
Okay.
Yeah. So, not great.
Nope. Very bad.
That's about 1,000 people who got into this movement in Guyana.
Uh-huh.
And followed him as far as they could.
Yeah.
They were told they were free to leave, but were basically... Jones basically made it impossible for them to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wouldn't let anybody else in unless they were going to join the temple. So overall, just a sick man coercing other people into doing sick things.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to end my story. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, folks.
Don't drink it. Yep. And don't join a cult. If you were a jeweler...
If you're in a cult, call your dad.
Yeah. Or your mom. Or your best friend. Or your...
Yeah.
Yeah. Or...
If they let you.
If they let you. Yeah.
Find a way to do it.
Yeah, find some way. Yeah, if you were a giver of jeweler licenses, don't give it to people who are like, yeah, you know, I just moved with my commune of 1,000 people down to Brazil. You know, it's great. I don't have a lot of gold, but I would love to have the cyanide. Yeah, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, so sorry that was really long. I didn't realize how long it was. No. I had so many notes and I was like, I gotta rip through them. Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll come back.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, let me open my Red Bull for dramatic effect and then we can get started.
Open your what? Oh.
My Red Bull.
Okay.
Are you ready for your story?
Yes.
Are you ready for your story?
I am.
Okay.
All right, open that Red Bull.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Ready. I just hit my microphone.
Oh, that was a good one.
Crunchy.
Okay, are you ready are you ready to get spooked?
Yes.
Okay. So, this week, my story is going to be another Jewish legend. Well, like, an actually Jewish legend this time.
Okay.
Aside, because the Big Box wasn't really Jewish. But yeah, so, I'm doing independent study with my rabbi for conversion on, like, Jewish folktales and superstition. So, like, about once a month, me and my rabbi meet. So, about once a month, he will probably listen to me tell a story about a Jewish folktale because I have been researching for my meeting with my rabbi and I'm double dipping on my homework. But, okay, so this week we are going to talk about the golem.
Yes! Oh my god.
Do you know about the golem?
I know a little bit. We read, we read, it's literally right there. Adventures of Cavalier and Clay.
Wait, what?
The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay.
Oh, I have never heard of that.
It's a really thick book,
yeah.
Which involves a lot of research into comics and Jewish history.
Oh my gosh. Wait.
Yeah.
So is it like an academic text?
Or... No. It's a fiction novel.
It's a fiction novel?
Yes.
Can I borrow it?
I'll send you a picture of it.
Oh my gosh, please do. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay.
We had to read it for my long-form fiction class, and I didn't get through it. I got, like, halfway through it, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't because it was a bad book. It's a great book. It's just a lot.
Oh my god. I want to read it. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Cool. I'm glad that we both have a grounding for it. Okay.
Yes. But I don't remember much from it, so...
Yeah.
Hit me with all the information.
Hit me with your best golem.
No, please don't hit me with your golem.
Oh, yeah, that would be very bad.
I feel like that would be very painful.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Alright. So a golem is basically like some kind of being made out of humans. So like, a like human-made entity, and it's formed by clay, dirt, or dust, and you create a golem using specific parts of Kabbalah, which is the whole Jewish and mysticism side of Judaism, and specifically from secret formulas outlined in the Book of Creation, which in Hebrew is the Sefer Yetzirah. And I feel like during this episode, it is going to become abundantly clear that while I'm converted to Judaism and I know a lot of things, I do not know how to speak Hebrew at all. But yeah, so we're just going to do our best here. So Golem is a creation from, like, dirt. And basically, it's kind of like the ancient version or the ancient inspiration for tales like Frankenstein and artificial intelligence horror stories and stuff. And it kind of like all of that has been inspired by the Golem. So like kind of thinking based on like those pop culture things and how it's evolved throughout history. Like Jewish Golem is supposed to be obedient to its creator. And it's supposed to carry out acts as dictated. It doesn't have reason or free will. So it's just supposed to be like basically a human-like entity that you can use to do things for you.
I actually... Never mind. I'll look it up and I'll let you know.
No, what? What?
I read a book series as a kid that had a golem that basically did all their garden work for them. Let me look it up. I have a whole book list for you, apparently.
Oh my gosh,
from back when I used to read.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I've been trying to read one book for like 2 months now. It's tragic.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you looking something up or should I continue?
Yeah, I found it. It's called Fablehaven.
Oh.
By Brandon Mull.
Fablehaven?
Yeah, have you read it?
I have not read it, but it was all over my elementary and junior high library. And people were so obsessed with it.
I loved this series so much.
Oh my god, it's coming
reread
back.
It multiple times. My first copy, I was bringing it to school and I dropped it flat on its cover. So the first book, the cover is folded in half and has a very obvious crease in the middle because I folded it back.
Oh my god!
But the other copies are also awful condition because the spines are all cracked. I fucking love that series. It's so good. Oh my gosh,
that just literally
the Revenant part. Oh my god!
I don't think I ever read it, but I was very into that whole genre of magic and stuff. Oh my!
I read that series and Pendragon.
Oh yeah,
pretty much around the same time, and I was obsessed with those two series.
Did you read Inkheart at all?
Inkheart, yes.
Oh my god!
I am so disappointed in the movie, but I love that book series so much.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Anyways,
well, don't we love reconnecting to our childhood books?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in modern Hebrew, golem has kind of gave the commutation of meaning stupid and dense. So you would call someone a golem if they're doing something dumb, basically. And generally, though, the golem has a folkloric reputation for kind of getting out of control and wreaking havoc on its creator and the community.
That's not good.
Yeah, no. So it starts out as helpful. And then, in a lot of legends, it kind of, devolves.
Is that because, it becomes sentient, or, it just...
No, it's
the magic wears off.
It's more I think it's more like humans think that they understand what they're creating, but we don't actually have the same power that God does to control life. So it's just, we think that we can make something that's obedient to us, but then it's really not obedient to us, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I guess it's just, its power grows, and, a lot of times what people are asking the golem to do is to, fight our enemies for us. And then, they'll, kill the enemies, but then they'll also start killing the community because I kind of have some theories on it. later on.
Okay.
We go into some specific legends. But yeah, so it is distinctly a Jewish kind of thing, or not thing, like a legend. Like it has roots back to to the Bible and to the Talmud. The Talmud is the set of teachings and commentaries that eventually become the basis for Jewish law. So the Talmud is kind of like an interpretation of the Bible into what God says this, or humans say that God says this, and then this is what we should take from it, and this is what the law is, kind of.
Okay. So what Bible Belt Christians think they're doing?
Yes, except from what I know, Bible Belt Christians don't really have the whole history of commentary kind of thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Bible Belt Christians think they're doing.
Yeah. pretty much, I think. Yeah. But so something that I find fucking fascinating is that the Talmud says that Adam started out as golem. Before God breathed. Yeah, before God breathed a soul into his nostrils and made him human.
Oh, okay, yes, I remember this now.
Yeah. So
okay.
So that's also kind of setting up that the only distinction between humans and a golem is that humans have a soul given to God. So it's very, very closely meshed, but something is not right. It's a very classically uncanny kind of monster.
Yeah.
And then so that makes me wonder, does this mean that Eve was the first actual born human? Because if Adam was born a golem, but then God had to breathe him, but then Eve came out of his rib. I don't know, but
yeah, procreation. How does it work? Birds and bees.
I know. Yeah. Golems,
Google that, kids.
And I don't know what golems. Yeah. Okay. The golem that we know it today probably first came from a late 16th century story from Prague, where a rabbi known as Mahral, I think, used Kabbalistic magic to create a humanoid figure out of mud to defend Jews against enemies. After that, things are debatable. And it's so fascinating how many things about the golem are up to interpretation. So for instance, it could be made out of either mud, or it could be made out of ash or dust or dirt, or a combination of them all. We don't really know. It could be brought to life by magical amulets, magical incantations, or it could be made by applying the word emet, which means truth, to its body, or by saying the names of God, or, and this one is so interesting, by intoning the letters of the Hebrew alphabet specifically, just as God did when God created the world. So
fascinating.
I know.
Okay.
And I had to look up what intoning meant, and apparently it means saying with a very specific inflection and way of saying it. So you have to say it verbally, exactly as God did, with all the different sound qualities exactly lining up.
It's you're trying to get past a voice scanner.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretending to be God
exactly.
to the golem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize that voice.
Yeah. It's
you install Siri in a golem, and it's I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Try it with a higher pitch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if someone created a golem with facial recognition?
Oh my no, Cody. Oh my god.
I feel that's a more advanced magic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty advanced. Yeah. Yeah, so then on top of its substance and then how you make it, we also don't really know, have a cultural image for what it looks like. The only baseline requirements for what a golem looks like is that it is an amorphous but at least slightly humanoid blob. And so it can be like a blob up to looking exactly like a human, but just not being a human.
Okay.
So it could look like anything, kind of. And this could be to represent the nothingness of mankind without free will and reason. So.
Oh, to like affect your appearance.
Yeah, basically.
I see.
And then a quote from My Jewish Learning, which is an amazing resource for Judaism. It says, in other words, was he something wholly other or merely an incomplete human being? Perhaps he was both or neither. So, like, it's pretty vague.
Right, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so obviously I'm not a Kabbalist, and I'm not even, like, fully Jewish yet. So I obviously don't, like, know the instructions for making a golem, or like, the supposed instructions.
Yeah.
But, like, really, it's, like, to create a golem, it seems like it's not at all, like Ouija boards or, like, seances or other, like, kind of acts that would connect a person to the supernatural, where, like, people just from, like, kind of popular culture, like, know how to do it, or, like, know the words to say, or, like, can, like, look up on the internet, like, how to summon a demon, kind of, like, there's
Google that, kids.
Yeah, like, there's no, like, cultural fluency at all about, like, this is how you would create a golem, even, like, different ideas, like, it's so, like, secretive, it's so specific that even in, like, all the folktales, even where it's fiction, like, only experts can create a golem. Like, it's not like...
Okay.
It's not like in horror movies where it's like, okay, we're gonna create a pentagram and just, like, kind of half-ass it. And then we brought a demon into the world. It's like, no, like...
Yeah.
You gotta know your stuff, kind of. And then a fun fact is that the word abacadabra derives from the Hebrew, or no, the Aramaic word avara kadavra, and
right.
Yeah, and it means I create as I speak, which is super interesting to me.
Yeah, I gotta show you this book, because it's got, like, it's like Oscar Wilde, where it's got, like, footnotes and stuff about the history.
Yes.
It's all starting to come back to me. Okay. Anyways, continue.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Both the golem and the book.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so this kind of also ties back for me just, like, how meaningful, like, words and speaking are in, like Jewish folklore, and, like, the power of, like, saying something or writing something has, and I just find that hella interesting. So, okay, so we know what a golem could be made out of. We know maybe broadly how to bring it to life, even though we don't know those specific instructions. What does it look like? I don't know. But then another important thing to know is how we can kill it, apparently. Yeah. So golems can supposedly be returned to dust by removing... okay, wait. I don't think that it went over this different way of supposedly creating a golem. But another way to create a golem is that you find the secret name of God in like Kabbalah in the Book of Creation, and then you write that on a piece of paper, and then you either put it in the golem's ear or the golem's mouth, and it will become alive.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so the way to then kill a golem is to remove that piece of paper from its ear or its mouth. So that's one way. And then another way that you can do it is you can destroy the letter Aleph from the word emet, which means truth, and then that changes the word from meaning truth to death.
I see.
Yeah. So there's like all sorts of cool using letters and language and manipulating it to mean stuff in here, which I think is amazing. And then there's like another theory that you could just send a golem to sleep, because there's this one version of the tale where after the golem prevents the genocide of the Jewish people, then the rabbi sends him to sleep, where he rests in the old new synagogue in Prague in the attic somewhere, to be awakened from hibernation when Jews need him again. So, who knows? He could just be sitting up in an attic in Prague, waiting for something to happen.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
If they're made of clay,
and
it rains,
yeah,
can you just kill them by melting them?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just thought of that. Like,
yeah, that's interesting. I know. I only say like a definitively no, because there's this folktale where the golem like goes underwater for like a day, where he hides just like submerged underwater.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's a good question though. I'm guessing like any clay creature that can also like slaughter an army, it probably isn't gonna melt from
That's
rain.
true.
But I mean, hey, who knows? Okay.
I don't know. If witches can melt in water, then maybe golems can too.
Yeah. Golems can too. They can do anything.
That's the title.
Yeah.
Golems can too.
Golems can too.
Rights for golems.
Yeah.
Golem rights.
I love it. Okay. Well, oh my gosh. It's so funny that you say that, because the rights of a golem will come into the story in a hot minute when I go into the different outcomes of creating a golem in a lot of different of the versions. So this is when I'm going to kind of go over some of the actual stories and how they go.
Okay.
So one outcome that I've read is that the golem is created to help out the Jewish community with Shabbat. And so, like, on Shabbat, there's all of these kind of rules, because it's a day of rest, about what you can and can't do. So basically, the golem was made to, like, do all the things that Jews can't do on Shabbat. So, like, stuff like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Stuff like hunt, cook, turn off the lights, create fire.
Turn off the lights?
Yeah, like, in Jewish law, and like it's not like super upheld in like more progressive communities anymore, but like you're technically not allowed to create a fire on Shabbat, so you can't like turn the lights on and off on Shabbat technically, because it's like one of the commandments. Like you're supposed to be resting and like focusing on study. So yeah. It's like a lot of like very specific things. Like, yeah.
Huh.
You're also not supposed to take the bus, and you're not supposed to lift things above a certain weight. Yeah, so like just a lot of kind of more detailed requirements that only like super Orthodox communities kind of uphold these days. But yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. So the golem in this story like does all that kind of menial labor stuff, but then eventually the golem gets upset when the creator forgets to turn him off after he's done his duties, because every being, even God, deserves a day off during the week. So basically the golem is upset that he does not get his day of rest. And then
I see.
And then he destroys the village. So, like, that kind of ties into, like, golem rights. Like, even golems have the right to a day off. So that's one outcome. Another outcome is that the golem is called upon to defend the Jewish people again. but ends up killing everybody without the rationality or free will to determine who is the enemy. So, I don't know, when I was put on antibiotics for my sinus infection, and I was thinking about, like, how antibiotics kill, like, even the good bacteria, and then I was researching the golem. I'm like, hey, golems are kind of like antibiotics, because they kill everything, even the good stuff, and the bad stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know, so that's just, yeah. But maybe nerds only find that interesting.
Nerds only.
Yeah, nerds only. Golem rights and nerds only. And then I did watch the movie The Golem. It's on Netflix, in case anyone's curious.
I am definitely curious. I'm writing that down.
Yes, it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty depressing. It is, like, I am very happy about how it's, like, told from a Jewish perspective within the context of a Jewish community, and versus, like, being taken out like a lot of different things are. But so in this movie, and I'll try not to spoil everything, but basically, Gentiles blame Jews for the plague, and this is in, like, I think 16th century Lithuania.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so, like, the plague is happening, and these Russians, or this Russian community is afflicted by the plague, but then they see that the Jewish community isn't, because, I mean, the Jewish community is isolated and also has basic hygiene, but of course, the Russian communities is like, oh my gosh, the Jews are placing this curse on us. They're the reason the plague is happening. So then there's a genocide, or
great.
There's, like, the threat of a genocide. And then so this very hardcore woman named Hannah, who is the protagonist, she creates a golem, which I feel like isn't a spoiler because it's called the Golem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, I don't know, the ending isn't good, so I'll let you interpret what that will, and it lines up with some of the other stories that I told, so...
Does a dog die?
There are no dogs, so that's good.
Okay. So that's usually a deciding factor of whether or not I'll watch the movie.
No, yeah. A lot of people die, and it doesn't end up well. Also, genocide just sucks, even if the golem is there to supposedly stop it.
That is true.
Yeah. But then, okay, so my last version of the story, I actually found in this book of Yiddish folk tales that I have, and it's, like, super duper interesting. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So it's called The Golem of Vilna, and this is from Yiddish folk tales, edited by Beatrice Silverman Weinreich, and translated by Leonard Wolf. So, in case anyone's interested. So basically, this story is, like, a rabbi creates a golem so that he can provide fish for the Jews on Shabbat. He would send the golem into the depths of the river, where the golem, using the language of the fish, called them together, trapped them in a net, and distributed them to the Jews. And, like, the story is super interesting, because basically that's all he has the golem do. And, like, there's no...
Just round them all up and feed them?
Yeah, basically. Huh. Like, cook for them, get fish, feed them on Shabbat, light fires, etc.
Because, sorry, I missed the Shabbat part. Got it.
Yeah. So, it's on Shabbat. And then, the story ends, and I'm just going to read the last paragraph for you. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, when the Gaon, the rabbi, decided that he did not want the golem to be a golem any longer, he simply removed the bit of paper with the name of names on it from the golem's ear. He did so because, may the good Lord be thanked, there are now plenty of fish in the marketplace. Even such poor folk as we are can now afford a bit of carp for the Sabbath. Besides, and I hope never to see the day, should the time come when we do need the golem again, there will be someone to revive him. A new Gaon will arise who will put the terrifying bit of paper into his ear. But I trust God will protect us from that. It will be much better if we never have needed the golem again. And that's how the story ends. So, like...
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very anticlimactic. And, like, this book of folk tales is really interesting because it comes from, like, a specific village in Eastern Europe that is now no longer there. Like, that community has just been wiped out because of anti-Semitism and genocide. So this is, like, a book of very, like, cultural artifacts. Mm-hmm. But one common thing throughout it, especially with the golem story, is that all of the people in the stories are like very smart. It's like they do what you yell at people in horror movies to do, like don't open the door, like don't eat that, and then they just like don't. So like the rabbi like turns off the golem before anything bad or dramatic can happen, and it's just like all right, well. The protagonists are smart, and the story is over without any horrible things happening. But so, like, very eerie in a way. And, I don't know, it's just really interesting to me.
I have a question.
Yes.
That you don't have to know the answer to.
Okay.
I'm trying to think how to phrase this.
Okay.
As a Christian.
Uh-huh.
Is the word Shabbat used in the Bible?
Yes. I think it's probably translated as like Sabbath. I think.
Because I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've only seen Sabbath or like Day of Rest.
Yeah. That's like what it's.
But there's no like direct mention of it.
No, yeah. I think it's the same thing. Like Day of Rest and Sabbath is the same as Shabbat. Mm-hmm. I think Shabbat is just like specifically. I don't know if it's Hebrew. It's either Hebrew.
I was gonna say, is it a Hebrew or Yiddish word? Maybe is that? Yeah. That's probably why.
Yeah. It's like
they just translated and never went back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I know. Yeah. And when I first started converting, I thought that Shabbat and Sabbath were not the same thing, and then people at temple, it will like say
no, same thing.
Yeah, they'll say like in the same like Shabbat Shalom and also Good Sabbath. So I think it means the same thing. It's just a different way of saying
That's what that means. Okay.
Yeah.
So I knew it was a positive greeting.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know what it means. I thought it meant like good health or something.
Yeah. No. It's like I should definitely know this. It's like good. Wait. Yeah, good Sabbath. I know that that Shalom means peace. Oh
yes.
So
that's what. Okay.
Oh, probably like a peaceful Sabbath or something.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right.
Yeah. Cool.
Good to know.
Yeah. And then, so I'm just going to conclude on another version of the story, and I did not know this, but Reform Judaism, which is an organization for Reform Judaism, has a podcast called The Stories We Tell. And they cover the golem. And this is a quote from their story. The emperor said, "I have heard that the Jews have some sort of secret weapon that they are going to use to attack the palace." Rabbi Elul remained silent at first. Then he said quietly, "Whatever might or might not be helping the Jews is only to defend the people from attacks. If the soldiers stopped attacking, there would be no need for whatever the Jews might have." And I don't know, that was just a very interesting...
They sound like they're talking about how the United States would talking about nuclear weapons now.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no. the story of the golem is like very linked to that kind of like scientific innovation. Like I
see.
I read sources that like compared it to like the atom bomb and to Frankenstein and and to like artificial intelligence and stuff, and I'm like, whoa. But then from like a very from like a Jewish perspective though, like what the folklore is basically, it's like it's not so much of a we unleashed a power that we cannot control, or like we are stuck in like hubris or something because we think we know the universe. Like there definitely is an element.
It's just a giant clay man that you made to do your laundry.
Yeah, but like also, and mainly it's like made in times of like need and in times of persecution. So it's more like we are making this to stop genocide, versus like we're making this
to protect more than attack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like that's what a lot of the legends like start out as. Like we are wanting to use this to defend us, and then sometimes it gets out of control, but it's never like a tool for world domination.
Intentionally.
Yeah,
I see. It's
just like we don't have anything else to do, and we want to not die. So please do it. So, in that historical context, it's a lot more serious and sad, but also it's just very interesting. So, yeah, that is the story of the golem for today.
That's very interesting. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Also, we could like.
Wow, I said that as like a formal talk. No. It's. I'm being completely serious. Okay. Like I really enjoyed hearing about that.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad. And maybe the golem could also help me figure out my Yeti microphone.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, sit back for a day and just let it figure it out.
Yeah, like, here, golem, do this, and then I'll let you have your day.
Use your angsty energy from being alive for too long and put it to good use.
Yeah, please. And then I will remove the scroll from your mouth and resurrect you when something else bad happens. Okay, thanks.
Yes.
Bye. Well, perfect timing. Got about 10 minutes left before I need to skedaddle.
All right, then. Let's close it out.
Close it out. All right. Where can you find us, Cody?
You can find us on Twitter at Horror Corner Pod. You can find us on Patreon if you'd like to help us out directly. It would be super helpful in keeping the lights on in both of our places.
Yeah.
Maybe even get my ass and gear to go get my shit together to record in person.
Oh my gosh.
Who knows? Please. Right now, actual priority employment takes... What is the sentence I wanted to say? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Primary
find us on Patreon.
Precedent.
Yeah. Okay. Find us on Patreon at patreon.com/horrorcornerpodcast. You can find us on Instagram at Horror Corner Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, where you should be listening to all of our episodes. We're still not on iTunes. Sorry. At the Horror Corner Podcast.
We're doing our best.
We're doing our best. This week is really full for me, and I'm doing my best.
Oh, yeah.
What else? Oh, you can find me on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's fun. At OddCubePunk. I'll link it down below for you if you are interested. Also, you can find me on Twitter at GoCody. You can find Susan on Instagram at Susan. I forgot her handle.
At Snoozin' Susie Susan.
There you go.
Because Snoozin' Susan was taken by some.
Oh, RIP.
Oh, yeah, but.
And you still don't have social media, right?
I mean, I do, but I just don't update it. And one of these days, I'll like get my butt into gear and like actually have some kind of presence. But
no rush, it's fine.
For now, just go follow Susan. Her little ears perk up every time that she gets a new follower. I'm just kidding. She's like sleeping and she doesn't give a shit about anything.
She doesn't care.
Yeah. But
you can email us your listener stories, reviews, comments, hate mail, pictures of your dog. Only dogs. We don't take any other animals.
Cody,
sorry about it.
Say that, but that's not true. we accept goats. We accept cats. We accept donkeys. We accept
no. Only dogs.
We accept birds. We accept rats.
You can send all of those things that you're not allowed to send to horrorcornerpodcast@gmail.com. This is a jumbled mess, but you can also leave reviews and comments and hate mail down in the comments below on YouTube.
Okay.
And as soon as we get up on iTunes, you can also leave reviews, comments, and hate mail there as well.
Okay. I know that Cody says it's okay to leave hate mail, but it's not okay to leave hate mail. If you have hate mail, just direct it at Cody. Send Cody the hate mail. Send me pictures.
Send me a DM on Twitter. I will address it personally.
Okay, yeah. Send Cody hate mail. Send me pictures of your baby goats and birthday hats. Okay.
All right.
Well, that's going to do it for us. I am Elle.
I'm Cody.
And this is the Horror Corner Podcast. Thank you so much for listening to us. We will be back next Monday. Bye.
Bye. I swear to God, only dogs.